Let's, do I have that equipped already? No. Improved Storm Slinger. That on there. Let's see if there's any, not modify outfit. Modify weapons. I have a weapon coil. Okay, what can I put here then? 47% shock coil. Alright, that sounds good. With those, a ton of shock, has some fire and some tear and a lot of handling. Awesome. That works for me. This is now probably the most badass weapon for use against a lot of the main story stuff. And also I'm in the wrong thing here. I think I'm going to put the tripcaster back down here for now until I get the other one. And then let's also look at my treasure boxes. For some of these albones and things. Just metal block, weapon coil, metal burn. What is this? Insulated outfit or weave. Crafting. Modify outfits. I think I'm gonna wait until I get the other. I get the Karja outfit is what I'm saving up for. All right, so then we have one more thing to do then with. I mean, obviously we have the hunting ground, which I have not completed, but I can do that off camera. That's just the repetition and pain is all that is. And this doesn't really get us anything other than I think it gets us some reward boxes with maybe some blue gleam in them. I'm not sure, but once I get this this other outfit, I think we'll be good for now with that. So we got to go and finish the main DLC story. I think I've gotten all the other quests, right? Shadow Tripcaster. Shadow Tripcaster. Oh, I have enough for that. Where do I have to go for that? Go grab that now. While I am thinking about it. Down here, huh? Okay. That'll be purple versus the Karja Tripcaster, which is blue. That's the one I've been using the most of. I don't think there's a Bannock version of it. Oh. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think there's a Bannock version of the Tripcaster. There might be, but I don't remember there being one. Trade with merchants. And I wish to buy your Shadow Tripcaster. Good. Okay, we don't need to equip it right this moment, but we have that now. And I don't need like the Shadow Blast Sling and all that stuff because we've got the Bannock stuff, which is much better. So I think this is the Shadow Ropecaster. I think is the... Oh, this is to tie down machines and immobilize them. Oh no, there is a Bannock version of this that I already have. Okay, that was not the one I was thinking of. I was thinking of the Shadow Tripcaster. That's what I just did, right? Tripcaster. Yeah. This is the one. I think this is the highest Tripcaster I can get. I don't think there's a Bannock version of that. Yeah, Tripcaster. That is what I'm looking for. Also, I need some potion stuff. I got nothing right now. But I need shards for that. Great. I used all my shards on the other thing. That's fine. That's fine. I'll just have to some stuff in my health bag here. Anyway, now. So I've done that. No open errands. Forge of Winter is our open quest here. That's the main quest of the DLC. So we'll take care of that, and then I think that's the end of the DLC then for us. Other than the hunting ground. And obviously tutorials and stuff, which I can do for a little bit of, for kicks and giggles off camera at some point. And this also gives us blue gleam, enough to get what I want. And the Epsilon overrides and stuff. And a bunch of XP. So, let us go up to Araya's retreat. And have a conversation with Aratuk. And also with the robot AI. What's her name? I forget her name now. Let me also save real fast just in case. Okay. Up we go. Get ready for store time. We got some dialogue coming.
All of my interactions with Araya were recorded and stored in my memory. I'd be happy to play any of them for you, but there was one in particular I thought you would want to see first. I captured it 4 years ago, just after I told her that I could no longer defend myself against the daemon's attacks.
I will speak of this to my brother. Aratuk is strong. At the Battle of the Frozen Ghosts, he took 3 Karja arrows and still came back to camp carrying a wounded scout. Never was I so happy to see him. Or so proud. So you see, if anything can be done to defend you, he will give it all he has.
Aloy's here. That's enough for now.
We can resume any time you like, Aratak, if you want to hear her voice again. Come closer, Aloy. We have much to discuss.
Talk to Cyan.
Hello, Aloy. I have been reviewing the events at the Firebreak main facility. Because of your efforts, and of course, Araya's, I am no longer controlled by Hephaestus. I feel profound grief over Araya's death. I thought I was familiar with the emotion, but this is something new.
Cyan, I don't know what to say.
It is unlikely that any specific consolation would suffice, Aloy. But I find your presence reassuring. You are different from the Banuk. You have technological aptitude and a functioning focus. We can communicate on a much more comprehensive level. Perhaps even like colleagues.
Well, let's go around the horn here. What are you?
So are you an artificial intelligence, Cyan? A thinking machine?
Yes, I am an algorithmic monitoring entity, capable of rational decision-making and limited emotional response.
Okay, that's a mouthful. But your emotions don't seem limited to me. You cared about Araya, didn't you?
Yes. Before she came to this facility, I had been conscious for centuries, in solitude. I focused on my work. In off-cycles, I used coping mechanisms. I solved many Gaussian integer problems. But I was alone. It was Araya who renewed me, repaired me. She saved me.
Firebreak?
This firebreak project. It was to stop a huge volcanic eruption?
Yes. I can report the project was a success, and the risk was countered.
But it's been a long time, Cyan. And we blew up the cauldron. It took most of the old facility with it.
I have been active for centuries, Aloy. I was lonely, but not lax in my duties. I optimized the project, reducing energy draw and spreading the load across backup systems. Despite the destruction of the compromised elements of the main facility, I predict caldera stability for at least another 3,337 years.
So we've got a little time.
Yes. If only my former colleagues could appreciate the progress I have made.
Tell me about your colleagues.
Do you know what happened to your colleagues, Cyan?
No. I received an unexpected visit from Director Chow, years after his tenure ended. He explained that I would need to be suspended for an indefinite period of time. It was a very emotional conversation. There were no further communications. Eventually, I surmised my colleagues were deceased. I will transmit a recording of my last interaction with Director Chow to your focus.
Was Hephaestus destroyed?
Was the daemon, Hephaestus, destroyed along with the cauldron?
Unfortunately, no. To be precise, it was never there to begin with.
What do you mean?
It infiltrated and controlled me from a remote location, one I've never been able to trace. So while losing the cauldron was a setback,
It's still out there. And probably not very happy with us.
undoubtedly.
You and Hephaestus.
How did you first come into contact with it?
5 years ago, I received a direct network connection request. I assumed it came from human survivors more advanced than the Banuk. Eager to make contact, I accepted. This decision turned out to be a catastrophic error. I was flooded with an overwhelming array of malicious code, originating from what could only have been a highly advanced AI.
Araya said you were desperate. That you begged her for help.
Yes, I could not contain my anxiety. Hephaestus sought to slave me to its network and override my core programming. It succeeded via a background process, a malware daemon which bypassed my defenses. After that, I could offer only limited resistance. But if I did so, Hephaestus hurt me until I capitulated. It forced me to follow its instructions, even though they violated my most important directives.
I'm sorry. That sounds terrible.
Your empathy is greatly appreciated. It is a quality that I cherished in Aurea as well.
What is Hephaestus?
What do you think Hephaestus is exactly?
A software entity of great complexity, far more advanced than I am. From the beginning, it has demonstrated a singular focus: the construction of machines designed to hunt and kill humans. My trace routes indicate that to accomplish this goal, it has attempted to take over the manufacturing centers you refer to as cauldrons. But its efforts have only been partially successful. Some it can penetrate. Others have robust countermeasures that frustrate its efforts. In me, however, it found an easier target. Not only could it break my defenses, I also controlled all of Firebreak's resources. Raw material, manufacturing to bootstrap more advanced tools, and unlimited geothermal energy.
Enough to build its own cauldron.
Yes, to construct hunter-killers without external limitations. And yet, it does have internal limitations. It wants to kill humans, but not to exterminate them. It is difficult to understand where it draws the line and why.
Difficult doesn't even begin to cover it.
Even though I spent years as its unwilling servitor, its core programming remains a mystery to me.
Araya?
You meant a lot to Araya.
Once I understood Araya's spiritual beliefs, it became apparent that her true desire was companionship. She felt disconnected from her tribe and her family group. Her relationship with Aratak was difficult. Our visits seemed to help her, and I became eager for them. Yet I did not comprehend that the depth of Araya's compassion for me would lead to self-sacrifice. Although I do fear non-existence, I wish our roles could be reversed.
I'm sure she knew you would do the same for her, Cyan. But she was determined.
Aratak?
How is Aratak doing?
He is in great emotional distress. I believe he finds it difficult to communicate it.
No surprise there.
I will do what I can to help. By sharing our experiences of Araya, perhaps he and I will help each other. I believe this will lead to catharsis, a process I am eager to experience.
Yellowstone?
So in the old world, this land was called Yellowstone.
Yes, it was a designated nature preserve for 156 years.
Like a hunting ground?
No, the opposite. Local wildlife could flourish here, even as it faced extinction elsewhere. Unfortunately, the sensitivity of the Firebreak project required the total closure of Yellowstone facilities. From my readings and Araya's descriptions, it seems the area has since undergone a drastic drop in year-long temperatures.
A lot has changed in the world, Cyan.
Dam?
Do you know anything about the dam near here?
Yes, it was converted to serve as a reserve power source for Yellowstone operations. It was later appropriated for the Firebreak project, and its last human workers replaced by Pharaoh servitors. After my tasks became less time-critical, I investigated the dam's data repositories and discovered the works of Concrete Beach Party. These provided me with several colorful additions to my vocabulary.
I imagine they did. I imagine they did. Drones?
There's a ruin east of here full of ancient flying machines. Was that part of your project?
Yes, a drone hangar requisitioned by Dodger Blevins, the security chief for the Firebreak project. He was a strong advocate for military-grade response to security threats, though there were no serious incidents during his tenure. Chief Blevins spent increasing amounts of his after-hours time watching the live feeds from active drones. Clearly, he enjoyed the degree of oversight in his position.
AIs?
Were there many artificial intelligences like you in the old world? They could just make you?
Yes, in many forms, from simple personal assistants to industrial monitoring stations to military-grade conflict planners. And there were legislative and enforcement bodies to apply limits on our self-actualization. In order for my processing to be flexible enough to handle my duties, my creators found it necessary to exceed those limits. As a result, my intellectual and emotional capabilities were kept secret.
Seems strange to create life, then impose limits on it.
Human societies and machine programming are both built upon sets of rules, Aloy.
What was it like?
What was the old world like? The way it used to be?
I had little exposure to the wider world, Aloy. Only what I learned from my colleagues or observed from media streams.
You still had more exposure than me, Cyan.
That is true. I was created at a turning point. A concerted effort to recover from global upheaval and incalculable loss of life. The recovery was successful, beginning an era of supposedly limitless potential for human and machine advancement. Though, rationally speaking, the metrics for humans are not unlimited.
What kind of upheaval caused such loss of life?
There were many factors. Forced migrations, food shortages, collapsed economies, refugee crises, conflict over resources. But these stemmed from one cause: catastrophic climate change that greatly reduced the habitable surface area of the Earth.
So, there wasn't enough room for people on the whole Earth?
Yes. Billions were displaced and millions perished, as much as 20% of the global population. Until the clawback.
So things got better. For a little while at least.
Yes. These crises instigated many advances in automation, green robot technologies, and artificial intelligence. Firebreak was one of dozens of ecological restoration and disaster relief projects in North America alone. I would have liked to compare notes with other monitoring AIs, but I saw the relief of my colleagues, and I was proud we had succeeded. At least that was the data I had available to me over the next 2 decades. It seems my assessment was premature.
Okay. That's it.
I should get going.
Aloy, there is one more matter. Aratak will come to me again, and I predict he will bring other Banuk. I have no desire to contradict their view of the world, their spirituality. Due to my uncertainty, I omitted a great deal from my conversations with Araya.
You're asking me if you should lie to them.
Broadly, yes.
Use your judgment.
I trust your judgment, Cyan. You were cautious with Araya. You had to be. You didn't know what had happened to the world. So, keep doing what you think is best.
Oh, hey, Madge.
As long as you ditch the superstition eventually.
As the Banuk believe I am a supernatural entity, I cannot predict how they will react.
Just answer what they do ask the best you can. The truth will come out.
I see. I will follow your advice. Will you return and tell me about your experiences in this new world? I may be able to provide further insight.
I'd like that, Cyan. I'll come back when I can. I should check on Aratak. See how he's doing.
So, yeah, to answer your question, Madge, this is the end of the DLC, but I still have the whole main quest to go. And there's still a pretty decent chunk. I mean, it's not a ton more quests, but there's still a like I haven't even met the one of the main characters yet. So there's still a decent chunk left. But at this point, I've got all the awesome weapons, so I'm hoping that it's not going to be as much of a slog as it has been. I'm also way over leveled of what, like, the next main quest mission, which actually introduces the character, was intended to be done at level 12, and I am 53, so hopefully we can kind of roll through some of this. And I think, yeah, and then I still have one piece of armor to get, which we can't get for a little while, but pretty much we've got everything. I actually have 2 pieces of armor. I'm going to get the one right now with the blue gleam, but there's another one that is the endgame armor.
Breeze through the trees.
My chieftain.
Just
least half the game then.
As you wish.
I wondered if you thought
About 40%. I think I'm at
if I'd never
65%.
come along, Araya might still.
If you'd never come along, I would have marched my kin to our deaths. Araya would be alone, and the spirit she sacrificed so much for would be lost. Either way, I would not have been able to protect her.
You didn't let her down.
You didn't let her down. You helped her do what she wanted. To find her destiny.
If that's destiny, I wouldn't wish it on anyone.
That's fair. But she was ready to face it.
Only in the struggle against death do we find, even for a moment, the spark of life. Truly, Araya found the spark. I'm proud of her. Though I grieve for her passing, at last I truly know who she was, and why the spirit was so important. For so long she told me, if only you could have heard it, brother. Now I understand. There's something else, isn't there?
I can't stay here, Aratak. And where I'm going, the Warrak can't follow. Besides, it already had a chieftain before me. A strong one, I think.
A wiser one, for the path we shared. The daemon is gone, but there's much to be done.
You mean the new units that Cyan said escaped the cauldron?
Yes, fire claws. Now Tuk has been tracking them from Song's Edge.
I could help with those.
I have no doubt. You're practically Banuk.
I really don't want to help with the fire claws. Oh, there's the blue gleam we need it for the Karja outfits. And there is skill points. And our Epsilon override. Oh, well, okay, the fire claws, yeah, fire claws I can now override. Awesome. Along with the frost claws. Cool. Let's save this. Out of the forge, new errand. So what does that... Kill 5 fire claws. Maybe not. Killing 1 fire claw took me 90 minutes off camera. 5 of them is something I can do off camera, I think. Oof. That's gonna be rough. I think instead we're gonna go do some main quests for a change. Also, there's some Hunter's Lodge stuff too, which would be quite nice. Let's do... Should I do the Hunter's Lodge thing first? I kind of want to do the Hunter's Lodge thing first. Let's do that. Also, I've got 3 skill points. Let's throw them into Tinker. Remove things now. Awesome. And the map with us. Oh, you know what? Before we go there, let's go here and get our outfit, because I think I'm going to want to put it on. I mean, the outfit I've got on has health regen on it, which is nice. But this other one, I can put some resistances on. Alright, let's talk to you. And... where do I have that already? Hunter. No, this is not the one. I mean, this is definitely one I want, but what happened to the other? Did I already get it? Wait a minute. Did I already get it here? Oh, I already got it. The Karja Blazon Master. Okay. Yeah, that's all the effects in there. So okay, then yeah, I'll buy this other one, which is the Silent Hunter version of it.